Hello, welcome back. So today I'm going to do a series of seafood recipes, including some really fresh oysters. Yay! So the first on the menu is my rainbow paella with prawns and asparagus stealing the show in the middle, which you'll see. This one's full of color from the red peppers, prawns, asparagus, lemon juice that tops all of it all. So let's get started. Heat a pan under medium heat with olive oil and then saute chopped onions and some minced garlic. Then a pointed red pepper which I have previously chopped. Then some paprika and tomato paste. Then fry in some chicken thigh pieces until they are nearly cooked. Mix in the paella rice. Then pour in the chicken stock. Then a bay leaf, some saffron, and a pinch of black pepper. Now you want to simmer it for 10 minutes and cover the pan with a lid. I thought this needed more color, so I added some frozen peas which I had. Spread them out and then cover for 5 minutes. And onto the asparagus which I have here. I wanted them to be a bit curved in the middle, so slightly diagonal facing-ish, and then some king prawns which I had previously deveined, and I put them around the pan. Cover the pan for 5 more minutes, and boy am I excited to see the end result. On my sides, I grilled some big mushrooms with garlic and herbs on top, as well as some asparagus and kale. Okay, so the paella is done, and now I'm just going to top it off with some fresh parsley and some lemon wedges. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so this is done, and let's just take some time to admire this piece. Close up of the rice here. Look at how yummy that looks. And another shot of this with some peas and pepper. Just take a look at that. Take a look. Looks like a garden paella, rainbow paella, whatever. And yeah, this was my dinner with some of these sides. I know I didn't explain it clearly, but with these big mushrooms, there were garlic and some herbs, salt and pepper on top, and then brushed with olive oil. And then these kale crisps, brushed with oil. Now let me show you a proper scoop. So you get a spoon, you scoop some rice, whatever, put some veg on it, and then squeeze some of that lemon juice on top. To top it all off, the crispy bits on the rice at the bottom of the pan was also one of the things that I was excited about. Anyway, the next on the menu is some baked oysters with Queso Manchego P.D.O cheese. That's what it's called. I just called it that name because it sounded fancier than just saying cheese. Anyway, let's get started. So I ordered some big oysters XXL from this Whitsable oyster fishery company, and then once you get them, you have to wash them and also brush them to get all the dirt off. You might need another person's help to shuck the oysters because it does take a lot of time and you have to be really careful with it. And if you're a beginner, it can take a long time to shuck the oysters. I will link Whitstable's fishery company's website below, where you can also buy oyster shucking gloves and the shucking knife. Each of these XXL Whitsable Rock oysters are about the size of one Coke can, so it's very big. Now with these toppings, you can bake them for 10 minutes at 200 Celsius, or if you like to develop it, after the sprigs of parsley, put some panko breadcrumbs on top. This gives a fun texture, I would say, because you've got that crunchiness on the top as well as the softness at the bottom from the cheese and the oyster meat. Here's another version. So you start with Japanese mayo and then panko breadcrumbs on top. Bake the developed oysters for 10 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. And I'm just looking inside the oven. Ooh, everything looks crispy. For extra spice, I'm putting some shichimi togarashi spice mix and then some dried parsley to bring out the green colors even more. There we have it. These are the oysters, and I'm going to do the same for the other oysters. Some lemon juice for some tang, and this is how the mayonnaise oyster turned out to be like. so you can see that it looks gentler and the taste has less of a strong cheese taste. So yeah, these are all the oysters. I'm having it with some rice because that's how I like it, well, today I guess. And after eating the oysters from the shell, there's also some juice left, so you can even put more rice on top of it. Just soak more of that rice. Okay, next on the menu, my prawn fried multi-grained rice. How multi-grained? Well, you'll see, I'll explain later on. This fried rice is mostly about what have I got that I have to finish in my fridge. Anyway, first and foremost, grab some red rice and soak it for at least 30 minutes or in the fridge overnight in water. And then combine it with white rice and just wash it using the finger method to measure the water and rice ratio. And then boil it in my rice cooker. Onto the prawns. And then add some white pepper into some king prawns that I have already deveined, sesame oil, and then mix it through until evenly combined. For the warm parts of the rainbow, I'm using red and orange red peppers. So just chop it and put it in a bowl. You'll see the rest of the vegetables I cut. I'm just going to let the video do the speaking for now. Then for the purple bit of the rainbow, I'm using a red onion. I'm going to let the video continue speaking. Goodbye. I would have used garlic, but I didn't have any, and I was lazy to go, so I just used the shallot to just replace that garlic base. Right, so into the pan, I'm frying some of the shallots first, and then the onions second. Then the raw king prawns until they are cooked. Then the rest of the vegetables, which includes the zucchini, orange and red bell pepper. Then beaten eggs on one side, scramble them, and after they're cooked, mix them with the rest of the ingredients. My multi-grained rice is cooked now, so I am going to add it into the mixture. And I didn't add too much water when I was cooking the rice, so it wasn't too wet here. Yeah, I should have added oyster sauce, but I didn't, so I just put hoisin sauce instead. And then to top it all off, just going to mix in some green onions and switch the heat off, and then add in some sesame oil. Some sesame seeds here, just to make it extra presentable. There we have it, our prawn fried multi-grained rice. It's such a rainbow fried rice because it's packed with vegetables of different colors. I want to say, after tasting the prawns, I think they don't need to be mixed with white pepper and sesame oil in the beginning because I think they already have their flavor itself already. So yeah, you can skip the marinating process if you want. Last one on the menu today, we've got this quick tom yum soup stew, which looks complicated, but trust me, it's not. And then a special guest from an Instagram-inspired spicy garlicky walnut topped scallops. So I'm using this Lobo tom yum paste for my soup base, and I know I'm not making it from scratch, but just let me use this package, okay? So anyway, I'm just going to use the instructions at the back of the package, which is to first boil some water and then put in the tom yum paste inside. You meant to submerge the packet inside hot water before boiling it, but I skipped it, but it still worked well. Then pour in your meats. I'm using king prawns. You can also use mussels, as they've said. And then I'm going to add in some mung bean noodles. They are, they look like glass noodles, but they're a bit thicker, I'd say. Just like this. Just place it right in there. And for more vegetables, I'm using chopped white cabbage because this is more of a all-in-one meal, so I'm just going to put everything inside. And then more protein, so some firm tofu that has been cubed into the pot. And don't worry, the spoon did not touch the pot on the bottom. Nothing has been scratched. And I let this simmer on medium heat for about 3 to 5 minutes as I was just eyeballing whether the cabbage was transparent enough to see, and then added some fresh parsley and some fish sauce to taste. Voila, the tom yum stew is done. Woohoo! And more fresh parsley on top for some extra presentation. What do you guys think? Let me know! At this point, I'm just admiring this tom yum stew under this golden sunlight. And this was actually quite spicy, but I can handle spice. No problem with that. Went well, and the prawns were super flavorful even without marinating, so yeah, there's no need to marinate them. And it's very tangy as well, and visually stunning, golden, and all of the ingredients just shine through. Right, so before we have a bite, I'm going to show you how I followed the instructions for the walnut scallops. So, flashback, I cracked some walnuts first of all, fresh walnuts from the shell. And this amazing recipe was from this page called Shred Happens. I'll link his Instagram reel below. You start with toasting the walnuts, and then you grab a pestle and mortar, and I'm using Le Creuset pestle and mortar. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you pour in the toasted walnuts in, and then you crush them until it becomes this sort of consistency. Change, I'm using sweet soy sauce and substitute for the soy sauce. Just to give more sweetness, I thought it might be nice to have a change. And then some sesame oil, and instead of garlic, I'm using some onion flakes. Instead of his spicy chili garlic oil, I'm using crispy prawn chili, which works well and gives that really amazing spice throughout this topping. And voila, look at it just shine. And I even used this for my butter bowl, tofu and some vegetables, mushrooms and rice. So good. A really handy topping, I'd say, for other dishes. Anyway, and then you have to pat dry your scallops, which I have here. Into a pan, fry the scallops for about 1.5 to 2 minutes per side, and I flipped them a few times over just to get an even golden color on both sides. Topped them with the walnut toppings. Instead of his chives, I'm using spring onions, only the green bits. And look at how the lighting changed right now. Wow, golden sun. I'm going to say it's a great topping. It went really well with the scallops. It's sweet, it's spicy. It's such a special topping that you can use in a variety of dishes, such as, you know, not just scallops, but rice bowls, noodles. Yeah. I am ready to pair this with the tom yum stew that I've made. A combo you never thought you'd try. And thank you to Shred Happens again for this wonderful scallop recipe. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for waiting. Bye!